Hi everybody, I'm Amy from the Cauldron, and in today's episode of Dye Time I'm going to be dyeing this yarn that I spun myself. I am a beginner when it comes to spinning. You can see it's not even, it's pretty good. I haven't been spinning very long, but there are some thicker bits, some thin bits, some that has been overspun. But this is mint fibre, and it came from the Curious collection from World of Wool. You can see there's a lot of other fibres in here that I'm looking forward to spinning and dyeing. I've never actually dyed some yarn that I've spun myself, so I'm looking forward to this. Now it's mint, so it's a plant-based fibre. It doesn't smell like mint, unfortunately. I hoped it would, but it doesn't. So I'm going to soak this in soda ash and water for about half an hour, and then we can dye it with some Fibre Reactive dyes. My mint yarn that I spun myself has been soaking in soda ash and water for probably about half an hour or so. And because the fibre is made from mint, of course I had to go with mint green Fibre Reactive dye from Dharma. Now there's 26 grams of yarn there, so I measured out roughly 0.25 grams of that, dissolved it in some water. All this equipment I'm using here is dedicated for dyeing, and when I measured out the dye, I was wearing a mask. I've still got my gloves on. Just going to give this a little stir. And because this is a plant-based fibre and Fibre Reactive dye, all this needs now is time. So I'm going to leave this somewhere out of the way, probably in the garden shed, for the next 2 days, and then we can see how this fibre takes up dye. It's been more than 48 hours since I set this up. It's actually been 2 weeks. This has been sitting in the shed for 2 weeks. Let's have a look. Now there's quite a lot of water left, quite a lot of dye left in that water, but that's to be expected with Fibre Reactive dyes. I'm going to wash this quite gently. Ooh, it's a really lovely colour. So just get this little rinse out. Because it's not superwash yarn, I don't really want the water to go straight on top of this and felt it. So this is just cold tap water that I'm using at the moment. See how pretty this is. I'm going to add a little bit of washing up liquid and just give this a good wash. Oh, there goes my light. Yeah, see there is still runoff in here. The colour is still coming off. Again, that's not unexpected with Fibre Reactive dyes on a plant-based yarn. So I'm just going to do this a few times. Let this soak in some water, and then once the water's clear, I can hang this up to dry. And here is my finished hand-spun, hand-dyed mint yarn. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. I'm just so amazed that I've managed to spin this and dye it. Let's have a closer look. It's a gorgeous light green, which is what I chose. Interestingly, the white acrylic ties that I've put on these have turned blue. So then I think that's yeah, an interesting little observation. But the colour coverage of this is pretty solid as far as an indie dyer can make their yarns solid. There will be slight variations, but that's all part of the charm of the yarn, particularly when it's hand spun, because you can see there's big underspun bits here, and there are some bits which are quite thin. There are some bits that are much thicker. There are bits that have been overspun. I am by no means an advanced spinner. I am certainly beginner. I wouldn't even call myself intermediate. I'd say beginner, absolute beginner. But this was a lot of fun, and I have more fibre that I really want to spin and dye as well. So keep your eyes open for more of these spinning and dyeing videos. I have a poll going on over on my Patreon at the moment where I'm asking my Patreons to vote for which fibre they want me to spin and dye next. So if you'd like to participate in that, head over to my Patreon, which is from the Cauldron. There are links to all of my social media down in the video description, and let me know which of the different fibre types that I've got which I should spin and dye next. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do please click like and subscribe to my channel. I produce new dyeing tutorials every Monday, and they're published around about 6 o'clock UK time on my YouTube channel. So make sure you've got notifications turned on so you don't miss any new videos. And in each video I like to try different things. So I might dye some fibre, or I might dye some floss, or I might use Kool-Aid, or another food colouring that I found, and I might ice dye. And, you know, there's all sorts of dyes and techniques and all sorts that I like to experiment with, so there should always be something different and interesting to watch. Thank you so much for watching.